Episode 132. Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We got Wonder Woman. We got Witchblade coming back from the dead there. And we have Namor #1. Or should I say, Namor. Let's check it out right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. I'm going to be on a podcast tomorrow. They did not give me a link, though. Would have been nice for me to post that somewhere. I'll ask for it in the morning. And I don't know if you guys are following me on social media, then at Destiny Horizons, on Facebook, and of course Frank Zanca pretty much everywhere else. I'll try to post that where I'm going to be on my podcast. So yeah, remember to give me a thumbs up, give me a like if you can, and if you can, subscribe, please do, and try to grow the channel out. If you'd like to read anything that I've written, the description below has a link to my Amazon page, and you can check out my novels, graphic novels, etc. And the reason I do this is because not only for people that are collecting comics, and this is also people that are not collecting comics, but want to keep up to date about what Marvel, DC, and the independents are doing, in case they do come to the small screen or big screen. You can say, oh yeah, I saw that. I'm up to date on all this stuff. That's what I've been trying to do. So this is for people that are normies, call them normies, and also for tried and true comic collectors. All right, so let's jump right into it. This is Wonder Woman by Tom King. I have no idea why I'm still collecting this. Tom King is not a good writer. He does not. He's very verbose, I'll tell you that. He just likes to hear himself talk. And I'm into this for 11 issues so far. And he does not understand Wonder Woman. His story is all over the place. It hasn't even been concluded yet. It starts and stops and starts and stops. And now we're into Absolute Power, so he's taken a break from it completely and now just started something new where it's not even in continuity of what he's been doing. But anyway, this Absolute Power thing, I can give a crap less about it. Basically, Amanda Waller wants to get rid of, she's the head of the Suicide Squad, if you've seen the Suicide Squad movies, played by Violet, I forgot her first name there, and she got with a Batman robot and with the Brainiac Queen, and now has created Amazos that are taking powers, which makes no sense. They're taking powers from all the superheroes and leaving them powerless. And it makes no sense, because how does a robot take the DNA of Superman, who's an alien, add it to themselves, and remove it from Superman? It doesn't make any sense. And the same thing with magic. So we have Zatanna. How does a robot take Zatanna's magic and Constantine's magic and give it to themselves so that they can't access it? The original Amazo, all he did was scan the powers that were being used by a hero and duplicated them. So if it was the Flash, he would duplicate, the running ability, and he would be able to run. Okay. And then if Superman used his heat vision, he would duplicate the heat vision. Everything in his thing would restructure, but he wasn't stealing powers. He was just duplicating them. So this makes absolutely zero sense. I hate it. I want to get off of this thing as quick as possible, but I'm not stopping my runs on these books. I'm just going to continue reading them, despite me not caring. So we start out with the superheroes all playing cards. I don't know what they're playing. It's like fives or whatever else, and Xanadu saying "Go fish." I don't know what's going on there. But that's Billy, and that's the guy Etrigan, the guy who's housing Etrigan, and Detective Chimp. But I'm just going to go through this real quick because it's all stupid, and it's really wordy. I can get through this much quicker than he wrote it, that's for sure. But you can see them all sitting around the table. Wonder Woman sitting there playing cards when everybody's dying outside. That's great. That's just awesome. And, because they're all being hunted. And I don't really care about them playing cards. It's stupid. And they're playing cards. And Constantine says, I'm going to go out and have a cigarette. And she's like, maybe you shouldn't. But then the Amazing Robot knocks him through the glass into the inside. And the artwork is decent. This is not the normal artist. Normal artist is even better than this, but it's decent. So the Shazam couple there changes. They're brother and sister, as you know. Billy and Mary. They change. And then they go to fight the robot, who's immediately taking powers, which makes no sense. So he takes, throws Billy, and now he's using Constantine's powers. And Wonder Woman's like, "Oh, don't let him touch you." And then we have the Spectre, all this stuff. And I don't think Detective Trip really has any powers, so there's nothing really to take there. But then he takes the Spectre's powers, which he's like a god, so I don't know how you would do that. There's Mary, and Wonder Woman pulls her away as she's about to make contact because she realizes that she's going to take Mary's powers. And then we have Xanadu, and I guess he's using the Spectre's powers there, and they're trying to fight the thing at a distance by her using the tiara, etc. This is all just one big battle. That's all it is. So, and I guess he does get close enough to get Mary's powers, and Billy comes in, and then he takes Billy's powers, and all that stuff. There's Wonder Woman's powers getting taken, but her powers were given to her by the gods. I don't really understand any of this. I don't understand it. Oh, that's the end of it, by the way. That's the end of it. That's the end of it right there. Oh, that's right. He took Detective Chimp's ability, his brain power. So now he's just acting like a regular chimp. And then we get this backup story. Now, since when is Black Canary supposed to be this famous singer? When did that happen? She's a famous singer now, and she's singing about Green Arrow and all this stuff, and Damien's not into it. They just took Trinity there, and, I mean, I don't know what's going on there. And this is all her different costumes, and she's singing about canaries and green arrows and stuff like that. Damien gets to go on stage, and now he's all enamored, and now he's singing these songs, and now him and Trinity are into all this stuff, and then they go fight Mongol, and then they start talking about the band, and Mongol's like, "Yeah, I love that band." He stops fighting just to talk about it. It's so stupid. So stupid. Anyway, will this make a good film or something? No. God, it was just bad enough reading the damn thing, much less seeing it on the screen. Oh, my God. All right, let's jump into Namor, number 1. And as everybody knows, I'm a big Atlantis fan. I like stuff about Atlantis. And that's one of the reasons why I boycotted Wakanda Forever. Because they had screwed up Namor. Or Namor. I'm Namor. So asinine. When I saw that trailer, I was like, I am not going near this. This movie's going to piss me off. And I've still to this day, I have not seen Wakanda Forever. So, and I don't know what they're doing here. I have not kept up with Namor. He's been so sporadic. The last time I saw him was when he was part of that X-Men Hellfire Club thing, where he was part of those Dark Avenger, Dark X-Men or whatever. That's the last time I saw him. But somehow he's been sent into prison because I guess he was found guilty. And a bunch of the guards pissed in a bucket and then throw the bucket on him. But and I guess he could kill them all. He even has things on his winged feet so he can't fly. And I don't know. This is not the Namor I know. I don't know who made this decision to put him in prison, but it was a bad one. It's a really bad idea. But anyway, so we have this whole thing going back in time where his school buddies or whatever else, because he's white-skinned, and not blue. They make fun of him, and they bring him into a very dangerous area and then leave him there. And he ends up, and there's Atlantis, which they change artists back and forth depending if it's on the current time or the flashback, I guess to save time and have the look different. But anyway, he gets attacked. Everybody that brought him there runs away. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to fight this thing. So then they attack him in prison. And they hurt him. And they start chopping him up there. But I guess he's able to break the sword even though it cuts his skin. Oh, and then since when does Namor speak to fish? That's an Aquaman thing. Who wrote this? Oh, Jason Aaron. He just likes to mess with stuff. He does not speak to fish. That's not Namor. That is Aquaman. Whatever. So he breaks this guy's arm, goes in the wrong direction, the whole bit. But anyway, he ends up saving the guards and killing, I don't know if he killed them all, but he wounds them extremely badly. He ends up going after the crustacean guy. I think he throws him pretty damn far. He does. He throws him into the thing against the rocks. And he's like, okay, you guys are all done. My favorite parts of this was when he was, of Namor in all the years that I've been reading him, was when he was always flirting with the Invisible Girl, Susan Storm from the Fantastic Four. That was always my favorite. Him and Reed. But anyway, he ends up in the infirmary, and there's Stingray, and Stingray's like, there's bad stuff happening in Atlantis. I think that Atuma, that Atuma's doing some bad stuff in Atlantis, and you need to probably go down there and save it. And he's like, I'm not going to leave, the whole bit. And the surface world is wreaking havoc on everything going on with Atlantis. So, jump in there. And then we do the flashback again of him killing the sea creature that attacked him. And he's like, no, if you do that shit again, I will kill you. I am the future king, whether you like it or not. And so he gets all costumed up. I always did. I do like the costume, the black costume, as opposed to just the green underoos, the green Speedos. But I always thought it was a little bit more slick and gave him a little bit more. So he's got toe dangling, and he's like, and I'm not going to beat you up. I am going to command everyone else to beat you up. And this is the end of the flashback, showing that he is king, etc. And he goes after them. So, is this going to make a good film or television show? No. I'm not continuing it. I don't like the whole prison thing. I don't like how he's portrayed. Jason Aaron is known for deconstructing characters and making, like he just did, he totally just deconstructed the Punisher to the point where he was unrecognizable. And some people really liked that. I was one of those people on the other side of the coin that really hated it. So I won't be continuing it because the Namor character to me is unrecognizable here. So if it's not the character I know and love, I don't want to see it. So anyway, none of that. I don't know. I'm kind of torn because I want to see what happens. I guess if it's a slow week, I'll pick up the number 2, but I'm not going to go after it. All right, so let's jump into Witchblade. So I haven't seen a Witchblade book probably since the 90s, the early 2000s. They had a TV show, a very low-budget TV show that was like on Sci-Fi or whatever else. That Silvestri created this character. And it's Sarah Pazzini. And she found this amulet or whatever else, and it turns into armor. And it only covers, like, very little of her, which was always the big thing that, she was basically, non-clad in clothing. But it would armor her up when needed. It also created weapons for her and stuff to that effect. The TV show couldn't do that, so it was just a gauntlet that the sword came out of, and that was the whole Witchblade. But anyway, she was and I think this is a reboot because it's telling the origin story all over again. And the artwork is pretty good. And it's not by Silvestri. So it starts out with this crime scene and her kind of go over the crime scene, but she's also talking about her father. And that was, her father was murdered by bad cops. So she became a cop herself so she could discover her dad's murderer or group of murderers. And now I guess the Witchblade is gold. But anyway, this is a flash forward. But then it goes backwards in time. And they're digging up the Witchblade. That's why I was confused at first, because I'm like, what are they digging up? And then I realized that Sarah doesn't even have the Witchblade yet. So this is a retelling or reimagining of the origin story. But anyway, he's keeping away from it. He's the main guy there. And he's keeping away from it. Kenneth Irons. And this woman finds it. I guess they kind of half dug it up, but didn't fully dig it up. And it attaches to her, takes her over, and is now going to look for the host, which, as you all know, it's Sarah. But so she like beats them up and gets in a car and goes, and now they have to follow her, and it keeps changing hosts to try to get to Sarah. So it even gets on a plane. It's in the baggage area of the plane to go to New York. And then that's where Sarah tells the whole story of her father's murder and what he's doing. And she's now undercover, attempting to rout out these people that are doing human trafficking. So she's got to prove herself. They know she's a cop, but they think that she's a dirty cop because she's pretending to be a dirty cop so she can get the names of the other dirty cops, if that makes any sense. And she's ex-military as well. And of course, to prove her worth, he tells her to go kill this traitor of theirs. And she has him at gunpoint. And I was pretty surprised at this, but she actually pulls the trigger. Meanwhile, the person that now has the Witchblade is now changed hosts again and is now on a motorbike heading towards her. But anyway, she pulls the button of the thing because it says click right there. And he's like, thank you, I know it was just a test, etc. But she didn't know that. I think she guessed that it was light, but I think that's it. So the other guy doesn't make it anyway, because the chick on the bike now sends the Witchblade to Sarah, and it wraps around her wrist, just as all these guys now train their weapons on her. And then we got this long sheet here that's like a 2-page spread but sideways, and I guess she instantly knows how to use it, or it instinctively does that on its own. I think it does have a mind of its own to a certain degree. And she ends up killing them all. She gets shot, etc., which doesn't do much, just bounces off her. No, it does hit her. I'm sorry. It does hit her. She goes down, but it was to prove that she could heal, because she actually pulls the bullet out and says, oh, wow, that was all weird. And now that thing is stuck to her. And she finds she didn't find out any information, but she does find the people that are being trafficked. And then we see the guy up on top studying her, and he's like, yeah, I found her, and I found the host of the Witchblade. I'm just going to keep an eye on her until you get here. And I forgot what his name was. But anyway, Nottingham. But that's the end of the issue. And then the rest of the half of the book, is artwork. Just sketches and stuff like that. I mean, literally pages and pages and pages, from ink to colors, all this stuff for absolutely no fucking reason whatsoever. But the artwork is good. I like it. It's always great to see J. Scott Campbell draw women because he just does a really good job. But anyway, so I would love to see another Witchblade movie. Not a show, because they couldn't do it with the show. They need a movie. They need a movie. But yes, I would love to see a scantily clad woman willing to play Witchblade. And there's been Witchblades throughout the world, throughout the centuries. There's always been a host for things. So we get to see Witchblades from like the 1800s and the 1300s and all this stuff. It's always been cool. I like it, and I would love to see a movie on that. Namor #1. No. I don't know if he can compete with Aquaman, and he never could. That's the problem. He's always been a secondary character, unlike Aquaman. And then Wonder Woman, I just want this absolute power thing to be over. I just want it to be over. Anyway, that's it for me. So I got 1 recommend and 2 stay away from. But if you can't pick up Witchblade, if you've never been, even knew about who Witchblade was, I suggest picking that up. And I want to see where it goes. Because again, I haven't seen a Witchblade comic since probably 20 years, pretty close to 20 years. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Remember, too, to give me that like, give me that thumbs up. If you can, comment, please do. Let me know what you guys thought. Are you guys collecting anything? Or am I kind of, giving you some options of what to collect in the future? Also, if you can subscribe, please do. Ring that bell, ding, ding. Help me grow the channel out. And remember, too, that if you want to read anything that I've written, the description below has that. Plus, I am going to be relaunching our Universal Monsters card game. So we're just calling it Classic Monsters, but it is the Universal Monsters. So it's Dracula, Frankenstein, etc. And we're going to be launching that up on Kickstarter. Here's a copy of what the box looks like. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, you can find a link down there where you can sign up because we're going to be launching at the beginning of the month. But you can sign up now and get notified when we launch. Anyway, remember to check out some other videos too as they come up. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching all the way through. I appreciate it. All right, bye-bye.